Hello friends, to celebrate the 42nd anniversary of Tokyo Disneyland, I thought it would be fun to go through 42 things that I love about this one-of-a-kind Disney park. Number 1, free Fast Pass. Now you might be surprised if you look on the website or you've been recently, you might think, what's Fast Pass? It didn't say anything about Fast Pass. Well, the name has changed to a 40th anniversary priority pass, despite, as I just mentioned, us currently entering the 42nd anniversary. The park still offers free Fast Pass for all of the rides you're seeing listed on the screen right now. It's the only Disney park in the world where you can still skip the queues for free, and that's very cool. Number 2, if you go to the Beauty and the Beast area of the park, which is set in France, the staff will greet you by saying bonjour, which is just so sweet and so nice. Some of them tried to push a few extra words as well. Number 3, in Tokyo Disneyland's Scary Adventures of Snow White ride, at the very finale of the attraction, you, the guest, die. You're hit by a giant boulder on the top of the head, and I think that's really cool. Number 4, Tony Solaroni. Look at this guy, running this pizza place all on his own. This adorable animatronic alien has been creating pizzas for guests for decades now, and I hope he will remain there for decades to come. This restaurant, Pangalactic Pizza Port, is like a little animatronic show and a restaurant all rolled up in one. And it's not even one of the expensive restaurants. It's really cheap and easy to go there. Number 5, on basically any ride in the park, you can ask a cast member to sit in the front row. You can ask to sit in the front row, not for them to sit in the front row with you. Although maybe if you ask very nicely, they would do that as well. This is actually one of my top tips for Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. It costs you nothing. You don't need to plan ahead or anything. Just right when you're about to board the ride and they ask you how many people, ask them if you can sit at the front. They will basically always say yes, unless it's very, very late in the day and they've already closed the front of the ride. Doesn't cost you a penny and it gets you some of the best views. Number 6, wandering characters. At Tokyo Disneyland, you still get characters just kind of walking through the park, which I really, really like. You can meet them quite organically. You just kind of stumble across them. There's this whole kind of system in place where rather than lining up, the guests kind of form a circle around them, and the characters will choose, kind of point to some of the guests to come and take a photo with them and have a little interaction with them. There are formal meet and greets around the parks as well. But I just think it's really sweet that you can still stumble across the characters here, because I don't think that's the case in every Disney park anymore. Number 7, Haunted Mansion Holiday. Tokyo Disneyland is home to the classic Disney ride, The Haunted Mansion, and at Christmas and Halloween, unfortunately, depending on who you ask, you can experience a special version of the attraction that is all themed around Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, directed by Henry Selick. This really makes the park feel dynamic the way that it changes throughout the year, and it's just an excellent, excellent themed seasonal overlay, which doesn't particularly fit the Halloween season, but is a great Christmas theme for this spooky attraction. Number 8, the Electrical Parade. Tokyo Disneyland Electrical Parade Dream Lights is a fantastic electrical nighttime parade that will bring all of the nostalgia of your childhood if you watched any of these parades at any of the parks around the world as a kid. And it still has some of the more modern Disney properties as well for the younger ones to enjoy. It's just an excellent show. And what I love about these parades is that anyone can see it. If you want to sit and wait an hour before the parade starts and get a really good view, you can. More on that later. If you want to just roll up 10 minutes before it starts and watch it standing at the back, you can do that as well. Or if you're just walking around the park and walk past it, it still adds some extra energy and a bit of extra magic. And it keeps the queues a little bit shorter for some of the rides as well. Number 9, Monsters Inc. Ride and Go Seek. This is a unique, one-of-a-kind ride that only exists at Tokyo Disneyland, themed around the classic Disney Pixar movie Monsters Inc., in which riders take a flashlight, a torch if you're British like me, and you point it at the different hats that you see throughout the ride, and every time you point it at a hat, a monster jumps out. It's an absolutely wonderful, super fun, zany attraction, which doesn't get enormous waits anymore because it's not brand new, but it's one of the best rides in the park, and definitely one that you have to hit when you come and visit. Number 10, the Brass Band. Whilst I have complained on this channel in the past, please subscribe. If you enjoy hearing about the Tokyo Disney parks, I make weekly videos about them from right here in Tokyo, Japan, where I've been living for 6 years now. But yeah, I've moaned about how since 2020, the entertainment at Tokyo Disneyland, and especially Tokyo Disney Sea next door, has been absolutely decimated. We do still have some live stuff, and as a musician myself, I love seeing and hearing the live brass band playing some classic Disney tunes, and sometimes some exclusive Disney theme park songs, or songs specifically from Tokyo Disneyland, so it's always a delight to see them playing. Number 11, The Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. This is the biggest, newest, fanciest ride in the park. It's an absolute delight. You've probably already heard about it if you know anything about Tokyo Disneyland, but this ride is an absolute marvel. Yes, it's got some amazing special effects, some incredible animatronics, a really interesting ride system, but really what it's about is it's just such a beautiful retelling of this classic Disney story that never fails to leave guests either with a round of applause or tears pouring down their face. It's a gorgeous ride and you absolutely must ride it if you visit Tokyo Disneyland. And again, the cast members say bonjour, which is so cute. It's so fun. Number 12, the cast members. Speaking of cast members, which is the name that Disney gives to their employees who work in the theme parks, the cast members at Tokyo Disney are absolutely wonderful. I mean, again, I have complained in the past about how there are a lot of rules at Tokyo Disney, and sometimes, especially on busy days, the cast members' job is to kind of yell at you and yell rules at you and guide the crowds, and, you know, they have to do that. But if you can catch the cast members when they're not in such a high-pressure environment, they're so much fun, they're so great, they're so happy to work there, and they just make your time there even more special. One touch in particular that Tokyo Disneyland cast members do is they just wave all the time, constantly. And sometimes it's a little sad if no one's waving back, but you know how you rectify that problem? Wave back, wave at them, and that always brings a smile to their face and yours, and waving just transcends language barriers, you know? You can make this brief but special connection with someone just by waving your hand at them, so do that. The cast members at Tokyo Disney are amazing. Number 13, B-A-Y-M-A-X. Happy Ride with Baymax, yay! It's the Baymax ride, and more specifically, the way that, again, the cast members and the guests go absolutely bonkers about this ride. So it's a pretty standard ride. I actually don't recommend that you ride it in particular, but I do recommend just going there, especially at nighttime, and watching as not only do the guests come and stand around the ride and dance along to the 6 songs that play, but even the cast members, whilst operating the ride, will jump and wave their hands and do the choreographed dance moves along with the songs that play while the ride is going. It's absolutely bonkers. It's one of those only in Japan kinds of things. And whilst the guest dancing can get out of hand, the cast members are just wonderful. They're so much fun to watch. And this queue just turns into a little mini nightclub. It makes if you do decide to ride it, it makes the time go so fast. Number 14, vending machines. This might sound like a silly one, but right next to Baymax actually are these delightful vending machines. And it's not just there. The whole park has loads of great vending machines, and they're all so well themed. They fit into their environments perfectly. A lot of them are really fun to look at, and it solves a big problem at this park because sometimes when the park is very, very busy, I remember before the vending machines were put in, the queue you would get just to get a bottle of water on a hot summer's day, sometimes you had to queue 30 minutes just for some water. Well, that's not a problem anymore. You just line up at these vending machines, and whilst for us living here, the drink prices are a little bit overpriced, if you're visiting from abroad, you probably think they're really, really cheap. So the vending machines are great. 15, the amount of dark rides. Now, for those who don't know, a dark ride is a ride where you are, in the dark. But you might be thinking of like a haunted house or something. They're not necessarily dark. They're those indoor rides where you sit in a little vehicle, like a car or something, or a boat, and you move around, and there's normally some animatronics, some robots, some different scenes that play as you go through. I think, and I may be wrong, and please write in the comments if you think there's a different park that has a better lineup, I think Tokyo Disneyland has the best lineup of family dark rides. The amount of rides in this park that the whole family can enjoy that tell a story and have some music and different animatronic figures and painted sets and all of this stuff at Tokyo Disneyland is crazy. There's so much. Which means even if you do happen to be here on a very busy day, you know, Beauty and the Beast might be a very long wait, Monsters Inc. might be a very long wait, but there's always going to be a bunch of rides that you can wait like 10 to 20 minutes for, just because this park does have so many of them. And again, they're rides that the whole family can enjoy. Number 16, park access. This might sound a little bit boring, and it might even be cheating because it's not something in the park, but getting to this park on public transport from wherever you are, if you're staying at a hotel on site, or if you're staying in a hotel in Tokyo, or if you're like me and you live here and you're going there from your house, The public transport access to Tokyo Disneyland is so good, and it's what you'd expect. It's Tokyo, you know, everything is very well connected with the public trains. But because of that, I think I sometimes take for granted that you can just hop on a train and walk 5 minutes and you're at the entrance of Tokyo Disneyland. If you're staying at one of the Tokyo Disney hotels, I mean, if you're staying at the Tokyo Disneyland hotel, it's right there. You just walk straight in. Oh, I love that feeling of staying there, waking up and just walking straight into the park. I do have a video ranking all of the Tokyo Disney hotels. If you're planning a trip soon and you don't know which hotel to stay at, do check that video out. But yeah, even if you're staying at one of those other Tokyo Disney hotels, you just hop on the monorail. You do have to pay for the monorail, which is a shame. But you hop on the monorail and you're there in 5 minutes. It's so well connected. It's so easy to get to. And it just makes your trip that little bit less tiring and a little bit less stressful, you know? Number 17, the merch. Now, the merch can be a little divisive for Tokyo Disney. I have definitely been known to complain about the way that they don't have a ton of like ride-specific merch. A lot of the merchandise at Tokyo Disney is based on like the characters more than the actual place. So if you're visiting from abroad and you want something that says Tokyo Disney, you will be able to find that, but a lot of it is kind of Mickey-centric or based on the characters of the Disney movies rather than the place itself. Having said that, Tokyo Disney do have a lot of great merch. It's just, it changes so much. So many of our guests are going to the parks just to buy stuff, so they have to keep changing it and keep having new things all the time. And sometimes there's great stuff. I collect these little ride vehicles, which I absolutely adore, but you can't expect to go to the park and just buy all of them. At any one time, they'll have like between 5 and 10 different ones you can get. But I do love the different range of stuff you can buy at Tokyo Disney. There's clothes, there's stuff for babies, there's toys, there's collectibles, there's even perfume and glassware here, which I'm gonna get into a little bit later. Number 18, rainy day contingencies. So I've already said I think that Tokyo Disneyland might have the best lineup of family dark rides. I'm pretty certain Tokyo Disneyland is the best park to get rainy at. Not only is the main street covered up, which everyone always likes to talk about, I hate it, I think it's ugly, but on a rainy day it can be handy. The thing I really love, and I really appreciate and take my hat off to Tokyo Disney for, is on a rainy day, they make you feel like you're experiencing something special. You might see Mickey and Minnie come out wearing their rain jackets, which you can only see on a rainy day. But even better than that, Tokyo Disneyland has a special nighttime parade. I already talked about the amazing electrical parade. They have a special one, so if it's too rainy for that, they cancel the normal electrical parade, and they have a totally different parade with 6 floats and a load of characters on it that comes out just for you. It has its own soundtrack, its own music, its own floats. It's a totally different parade that you can only see when it's rainy. And it makes you feel like, oh wow, I'm lucky to be here on a rainy day. I'm lucky enough to see this. And the way that they can flip that negative into a positive, I think is absolutely incredible. Number 19, mobile order. You might be thinking, well, of course they have mobile order. It's 2025. Well, it's a very, very new thing here. And whilst I don't think it's been implemented amazingly well, and I hope that they continue to roll it out and make it clearer for guests, especially coming from overseas, it is very, very nice to be able to go on the app on my phone, see, oh, the restaurant has a 45-minute wait, but I can mobile order something right now and just stroll in and get my food. Or drinks, which is another thing I'm going to talk about later on. You have to use the app to do mobile order, so you want to make sure that you've got an account and your credit card's linked in there and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's a real park hack to use mobile order when the lines for the restaurants are really long. Number 20, Tom Sawyer Island. Now this is a bit of a sore subject. I talked about this a lot in my latest vlog from the parks. The Magic Kingdom in Florida, at Walt Disney World, the big Disney park there with the castle in the middle, they have a Tom Sawyer Island and they're getting rid of it, and they're getting rid of the rivers around it, and they're flattening this beautiful area of the park to build a new Cars ride, which, I mean, I hope the new ride is very, very good. But I love Tom Sawyer Island. It's a place you can get on this little raft and head over there, and you're just away from all the crowds, away from the hustle and bustle. There's no rides on the island, there's no queues, you just explore. And let me tell you, the people on this island are the happiest people in the park, especially the kids, but also especially the parents, because the parents love to be able to play with their kids, not looking at screens, not queuing up for things. You know, rides are amazing, and I love the rides, of course, but being able to just follow your kid and let them climb up this tree house and explore these caves and just look at every little nook and cranny on this island is great. It's an amazing area, and I hope it doesn't go away. Number 21, Harmony in Color. This is the daytime parade at the park, and it's really, really fun. It's got a fun, upbeat soundtrack you can dance along to. It's got some amazing floats, which are just huge and have so much detail to them, and also some really special moments. The performers are incredible. The dancers' costumes are great. It's a really fun time. And again, the parades, what makes them so good is that they go through the entire park. So even if you don't intend to watch it, you'll probably catch some of it. And if you do want to watch it, there's so many areas of the park that you can watch it from. It's great. Number 22, Gua 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 Gua. Tokyo Disneyland have a lot of different events through the year, and these are not just the ones you'd expect like Halloween and Christmas, but they also have something right now called Palpalooza, and whilst these are all based on different Disney characters, right now it's Donald, and the real special thing about this event is this piece of merchandise. This is called a Gua Gua stick, and Gua is the sound that a duck makes. In Japanese, if you shake the stick makes a Gua Gua sound. It is the single greatest piece of theme park merchandise ever created, and probably just one of the single greatest human accomplishments of our species. Number 23, Little Green Men Mochi. You have probably seen these on Instagram. These are things that people love to take photos of when they come here. They love to use them in thumbnails for vlogs and all of that stuff. And they are cute, but they're also quite yummy as well. And they're so quintessentially Tokyo Disneyland. When you come here, you kind of sort of do have to get one. Guess where you can get them? You can get one from Tony Solaroni, so you can hit 2 things on this list in one go. Head to Pangalactic Pizza Port, get a chicken tomato calzone and some of these little guys because they're so tasty. There's 3 different flavors that you get in one portion. One is chocolate, one is strawberry, and one is custard. The custard one is absolutely the best one. But again, if you've tried them and you disagree, let me know in the comments which flavor is your favorite. Number 24, the Rivers of America. Now, I've already touched on this. The fact that this is going in Florida soon is probably, making me want to put this on this list. But the Rivers of America are absolutely gorgeous. This side of the park is so tranquil and so beautiful and such a great place to sit on a bench, or on a train, or on a boat, or on a raft, or on a log, or on a faster train. Like, the amount of things that you can do that are enhanced by this river being here. There's so many. And again, like I said, this place is so connected to Tokyo. Like, before you got here, you're on a train going through some urban area, and when you're at the rivers, you're transported to the west. It's so nice. And yeah, don't touch it, please. Thank you. I know, ka-chow, ka-chow, I know, but just no ka-chow, please. 25, DPA. This is Disney Premier Access, and this is the paid queue skipping service. And some of you might be rolling your eyes right now thinking, Jordan, what are you saying? Why is this a good thing? This is some cynical cash grab from the Disney company to try and get more money out of something that used to be free. Yes, it is. It's all of those things. And, it was nice when it was all free. But one of the benefits of it not being free is the free fast passes run out pretty early on in the day, especially on busy days. You have to get here very, very early to get a free fast pass for the bigger rides. That's not always the case with these. The fact that I can, on a pretty busy day, decide at 2 p.m., oh, you know what? The Splash Mountain queue is 3 hours long, but I just want to get on it and not wait, so I'll just buy a Premier Access and go straight on it. That's a nice choice to have. And again, if you're traveling from abroad, there's a good chance that your money is going pretty far here. So to have that option on the table, if you're here on a busy day, instead of being like, well, all the free passes are gone, so we're doomed, you have options. DPA is also used for shows and parades, so again, if those are things that you care about, you can get a really nice spot for the parades, you can get into the shows, and yeah, it sucks that it costs extra money, and no, I don't like this precedent of, paying to get a ticket into the park and then having to pay to do things in the park. It does suck. But long waits on everything in the park and not having a choice also sucks, so it's kind of nice to have the option, at least, to skip these queues if you're willing to pay extra. Number 26, the piano bike. Again, I love the live music in the parks. I love entertainment. This guy has been here forever and he's an absolute blast. He will make your trip more memorable, more special. Go and see him playing the piano bike. It's the best. What more can I say? 27, Mini Style Studio. This was added alongside Beauty and the Beast and Baymax back in 2020. And it's just a meet and greet to meet Minnie, but it's such a fun one. It's so well done. The queue line is great. You get tons of photo opportunities before you even get to meet the mouse herself. There are a few different lineup meet and greets in the park, like I said earlier, but this is by far the best one. If you're a Minnie fan at all, do check this out, especially if the wait's not that long. It's really sweet. Number 28, the Haunted Mansion. Didn't you already say Haunted Mansion, Jordan? 1, no, I didn't. That's Haunted Mansion Holiday, which is a totally different thing. And 2, it's Haunted Mansion. It's the best. Shut up. Jordan, isn't this basically the same as the ones in California and Florida and Paris? Well, there are differences in the nuances, but yes, it kind of sort of is, but I don't care, it's Haunted Mansion. For the super nerds, Tokyo's is a lot more old school than the others. If you grew up riding Haunted Mansion in California, or especially Florida, and you're not a huge fan of the changes they've made since then, come and ride the one in Tokyo and you'll get such a blast of nostalgia, because they basically haven't changed anything since 1983. Including the fact that it's right next to Dumbo, which annoys me when you're in the Haunted Mansion queue and you can hear Dumbo, but whatever. Haunted Mansion's the best. Number 29, unique shops. Like I alluded to earlier, the shopping in the parks can be hit and miss. A lot of the shops will sell basically the same thing, but what I love at Tokyo Disneyland is there are some really special shops that feel like real shops in a real place. They're not just selling Mickey ears that you can get from every other shop in the park. You know, there's a perfumery that sells perfume. There's the shop Western Wears, where they have like nice clothes and ornaments and things that aren't necessarily Disney themed. That's also where I got my new jacket, which I absolutely love. The shop at the exit of Pirates of the Caribbean is all piratey, and whilst this might sound like, well, of course it is, the shop in Mysterious Island at Tokyo Disney Sea just sells Baymax stuff, which makes no sense at all. So we have to give this point to Tokyo Disneyland. They have some cool little shops. Number 30, the Country Bear Jamboree. Now, I promise I didn't just make this video to like dunk on Magic Kingdom in Florida again and again, but they recently changed their Country Bear Jamboree. For better or worse, the bears at that one now sing Disney songs, and it's just kind of cool that the one in Tokyo is the more or less the classic version. It's the abridged classic version, but you get to see these bear animatronics singing silly renditions of country western songs. It's one that you never ever have to wait for. You just go into a room, you can sit down while you're waiting for the next show, and then go in and sit and watch the show. It is mostly in Japanese, but some of the songs are in English as well, and it's just a good old school time. This is what Tokyo Disneyland does so well, is they have all the really old nostalgic stuff, but then they also have a good balance of new things as well. Number 31, sitting down during the parades. So I've talked already about the daytime parade and the nighttime parade, and that we have seasonal events which also often have their own parades. Something that guests who are used to other Disney parks around the world always comment on when they come here is that you can sit down when you watch the parades. You just sit down on the floor. Now, this is great for a bunch of reasons. It minimizes the chaos. It means that you're not getting kind of pushed around while you're watching. You can sit and rest your legs, which is kind of huge on a park day. You know, these days can get really tiring. And if you're not someone who wants to sit down, it means you can stand behind a bunch of people and you have a much clearer view than you would if they were all standing up in front of you. 32, Camp Woodchuck Kitchen. This is a really sweet little restaurant. It's one of the newest ones in the park, actually. Right next to Big Thunder Mountain. It's just a really sweet place with lots of great little details. It tends to have good food, but the food changes a lot. But sitting up there on the balcony and overlooking the rivers, again, it's just a beautiful little spot that I highly recommend. Number 33, Mickey's Magical Music World. This is a show inside the Fantasyland Forest Theater. You can't film in there, so I'll be putting up footage of other things, I don't know, something. But this is a really spectacular show. This is a fantastic indoor theater show. In my opinion, it's worth paying that extra that you basically have to pay to go and see it. You know, you can do a lottery in the app, but the chance of you winning the lottery is very, very slim. So if you do want to see this show, it's best to prepare yourself for having to pay for it. But this is just a wonderful theater show with really modern special effects, loads of different Disney characters, tons of dancers, some great choreography. It's just a wonderful show. Go check it out. Number 34, Toontown. I love Toontown. Toontown is so much fun. And again, talking about things that the little kids love, letting your kids run around this place, they have an absolute blast. Especially in the summer when loads of things are soaking you with water as well. Toontown is great. Number 35, seasonal events. Now, I do have to preface this by saying this is something that's gone downhill a fair bit since 2020. But I do still think it's really cool that Tokyo Disneyland has these seasonal events where they have special parades and decorations. And unlike other Disney parks around the world, you don't have to pay extra for any of it. It's just part of your normal day at the parks. Of course, the best thing about any of the seasonal events is Halloween, and the best thing about that isn't even anything the park do themselves, is that the guests are allowed to wear costumes, and they go hard with some of their costumes. Some of these costumes are absolutely jaw-dropping. You can spend a day at the parks just looking at the guests at Halloween and still get your money's worth. Oh, I can't wait for Halloween again. It's my favorite time. Number 36, Pirates of the Caribbean. Whilst this ride does exist in a lot of different Disney parks around the world, I just felt like I had to include it because it's such a classic attraction and it's so good here in Tokyo. Again, for the super nerds, we do still have some of the older scenes that have been changed for better or worse over the years. So if you want a blast of nostalgia, it's definitely worth hitting this one. It also tends to be one of the shortest lines in the park, especially if you consider like the quality of the ride and the length. It's always worth doing in my opinion. 37, beer. Tokyo Disneyland is one of the few Disney Castle parks where you can drink alcohol. There's a few different places around the parks that sell beer. There are also different seasonal cocktails and seasonal alcoholic drinks that you can get depending on the time of the year. You know, in summer, they do some gorgeous like rum or whiskey smoothies that are super refreshing. In the winter, you can get bourbon, hot chocolates and things. Not everyone's into drinking, and that's totally fine, but if you are, it's nice to have these options. There's nothing I love more than grabbing a beer to watch the parade with. It's just a nice option to have. Number 38 is the Tokyo Disney Resort app. I did hesitate to put this on here because the app can be a bit clunky and it relies far too much on being online, which is not always easy, especially for foreign tourists. But it is very, very cool that you can just use the app in your phone to check the wait times for everything around the park, check the show times, find out where the toilets are and all of that stuff. And you can use it to get your free passes and your paid passes and everything. There's another huge recommendation that I make is, again, set up the app before you go, make an account, connect your credit card. You'll be glad that you did because there's just so much that you do in the app now that like even if you don't intend to use it for mobile ordering or for paying for passes and things, just for the free passes and for checking the wait times around the park, the app is a good thing in my opinion. Is it a shame that people spend so much time staring at their phones in this beautiful place? Yeah, it is. I especially sort of lament that as soon as you get in the park now, the first thing you do isn't, oh, let's go see the castle. It's look at the app. You have to get your pass. You have to get on it, but whatever. The app is very convenient. Number 39, Splash Mountain. Now, however you feel about the removal of the ride in the American parks, I think we can all agree that it's a very special, very high quality ride, and Tokyo Disney always had the best version of it, and we still have it here. So with it being now unique to Tokyo Disneyland and one of the best rides in the park, I had to put it on the list. Number 40, Cinderella Castle Interior. Now, the Cinderella Castle in the heart of Tokyo Disneyland is exactly identical, more or less, to the one in the Magic Kingdom in Florida. They've sort of changed colors over the years, but they're the same shape. One thing Tokyo's has over the Florida one, though, is not only does it have the glass store, where you can see people actually blowing the glass in real time, which is very neat, but instead of having a restaurant upstairs that's really difficult and expensive to book, they have a walkthrough, and it's not the most jaw-dropping attraction in the world, but the fact that you can just go inside the castle with your kids and take photos and explore it, I think is a very cool thing. Number 41, free water and cups. This is such a locals stingy thing. If you're coming from abroad, you're probably going to use the vending machines I talked about earlier to grab a Coke or whatever you want. But especially in the summer when it gets very, very hot, it's good to know that basically every counter service restaurant you can walk into, you don't have to join the queue or anything. You can grab a paper cup, fill it up at a water fountain, and drink from a cup. You know, there's water fountains all over the parks, but they're kind of clunky to use, right? You can't really fill yourself up like you need to, especially in the summer here, so pop into a restaurant, grab a cup, guzzle down a load of water, especially in the summer. I really like that we have paper cups. And we're on to 42. This is a ride that is quintessentially Tokyo Disneyland. This ride was the real identity of this park for so long, and this is Pooh's Honey Hunt. This was the first ride that the park built that wasn't a copy, more or less, of something from abroad. And they spent a ton of money on making sure that Tokyo Disneyland would have something really, really special so that when Disney Sea opened next door, guests would still come to Tokyo Disneyland. And my word, did they succeed. This is an absolutely delightful ride. Whether you're a fan of Disney rides or a fan of Winnie the Pooh or not really into either of them, I still highly recommend this ride. It just does things you do not expect it to do. It's so charming. It's so delightful. And there you go, that's 42 things that I love about Tokyo Disneyland. If you agree or disagree or have some extra ones you want to add, or you just want to wish Tokyo Disneyland a happy 42nd anniversary, please write all of that in the comments. If you want to bring the smells of your favorite Disney rides into your home, do check out the link in the description for Magic Candle Company, where you can get 15% off your entire order. These candles really smell just like the rides from the parks. They transport you straight back there. If you don't like candles, but you do like me, then you can check out my Patreon. That's also linked in the description. An enormous thank you to everyone over there. They get early access to videos, as well as some other perks, so please check that out. And if that all sounds a bit much for you, just go ahead and watch this video next. YouTube thinks you'll like it, and I do too.